brother. I'm going to give just a few moments for the link to populate. And then I'm going to get the text out to the text notification squad. And then we're going to jump into today's topic. I'm making this as a follow-up to yesterday's video because I have a lot of women who are coming out wanting to check me about my commentary yesterday. So what we're going to do is we're going to re-listen to the commentary, and then we are going to talk about being a single Black mother, the importance of positive father figures, the importance of positive role models, as well as the importance of seeing of your children, both male and female, seeing you date healthfully, as well as addressing other reasons why young men need fathers, not just any father, but need a positive, powerful, uplifting, upstanding fatherly figure, especially in the home. Having father figures is important, but having a upstanding father figure is tremendously important. Welcome, welcome in, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to close that out and we're going to get, hey, welcome in everybody. So that means the link should be populated. So I am going to get into the back end of my account. Welcome. I'm going to send the text notification out. Welcome in, Joanna. Welcome in, Joy Joy. Welcome in, everybody. Her story. Welcome, welcome, welcome. People should be getting the text. If you don't, you need to send me a message because there was some sort of change in the law. I submitted the new paperwork for compliance, but some people are still having issues. So I'm going to have to report each one of those one by one. All right, so we are live. Let me send to, oh, wow, more people have joined the text notification squad. Dope, dope. I love that. Okay, let us, let's see. I'm not really, I wasn't really feeling up to doing a video today, but I felt like I needed to address this because there's so many women who are coming for me, right? And I'm like, what is it that you want me to say? Do you want me to say that father figures are not important? I'm confused. Like, I understand that we make choices that, we decide to be single mothers, but like one woman even wrote and said that she had 5 children that she raised without a father. And I'm like, oh, God, let me just copy this. I don't know what to say. It's like I thought this went without saying, and I feel like maybe you all don't know my stance on this. You know, so let's get into it. I'm sending out the text right now. TKO text squad. So if you want to join the text notification squad, and Andre, it hasn't even gone out. Don't you see me typing it now? Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. The beginning part of the video, I have to get the link because we need to be live for the link to be created. So I just sent out the text. So you all should start getting it now before we go live on these other platforms. Oh, my goodness. All right. So QQ is at work listening from the clouds. Are you a pilot? What clouds are you listening from? What's going on? What is going on? Okay, I'm waiting for the text to go out. It should be there momentarily. Let me refresh and make sure it's on the way. All right, there goes the text right there. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and get this party started. Let's get live on these other platforms. Let us do our thing. Oh, I'm tired. I'm frustrated. Today has been a hard day for me. Okay, we are live on Twitch. We are live on Twitter. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram. And of course, we are live on YouTube, where we go first to get the link so that we can send it out to the text notification squad. Text notification squad, once you come in, I want you to go ahead and throw up your 1010 so that I know that you're in the building. Today I'm going to be addressing single Black mothers because I made a video yesterday with a young man who decided that he was not going to get out of the car to pump the gas for his girlfriend. And I made a statement, and I thought that my statement was pretty clear, but it seemed like I needed to clear up this statement, right? Um, okay. So let us go ahead and pull up the video so that we can at least know what it is that we're talking about. Here's the video right here. Right? Here's the video. All right. There I go. There I go. There I go. All right. So let's go ahead and just take a listen. For those of you who don't know what it is that we're talking about, we're just gonna jump right into it. I'm not in the best of moods today because I don't know. I'm just feeling. I had nightmares last night. You all know that I was dealing or have been dealing with a loss behind the scenes, and so I don't know. I'm just in a state. I didn't sleep well last night, and I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be better. I'm looking for a therapist right now, and if you're in the market for a therapist, start making your phone calls now because a lot of them are booked up. So you're going to have to start getting those phone calls out. After the pandemic, a lot of people they're in a state. They're in a state. I'm in a state right now myself. So I need some support. All right, let's go ahead and get this played. Let's go. Welcome in. If you're late, you're going to have to go to detention today. I'm sorry. I've already told you all to get here on time. All right, so let's get to the video. Come on, girl.
Man refuses to pump girlfriend's gas.
I done paid for the gas, and he's still sitting in the car. All right. You not gonna get out and pump the gas?
Huh?
You not gonna get out and pump the gas? You not gonna get out and pump the gas? I just paid for the gas. You not gonna get out and pump it?
I didn't know. Pump the gas. This ain't my
What
car.
you mean you didn't know?
This ain't my car.
Oh, okay.
This ain't my car.
Get out and pump the gas. I at least pay for the gas. That don't make no
But
sense.
it's not my car though. Like, what you want
You
me to-
in my car.
Okay.
Get out and pump the gas.
I'm confused. I don't know what you're talking about. What you mean?
See, this is why I need this with. You can't even get out and pump the gas. Just trifling.
How's that trifling though?
You know it's trifling. Get out and pump the gas.
I don't understand why you so mad about me not pumping the gas. It's not
I'm
my
mad
car.
because you a man.
But
Like,
it's
at
not
least
my-
pump the
but
gas.
It's not my car though. Like, this is your
But
car.
you in my car.
But this is your car though. That's what I'm telling you. This is your car.
Okay, so you don't think that it's cool for you to at least get out and pump the gas after I paid for it?
All right. You know what? I'm not going to rewatch this whole video. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to fast forward to my commentary because this video in and of itself is 4 minutes long. So it doesn't look like I'm talking. Let's continue going forward. With my face. Lord have mercy. All right.
Man refuses to pump
Oh, that's
girlfriend's
the
gas.
end of it? Hold the hell up. No, that ain't the end of it. Where's the police? I'm sorry. I thought, hold on. That cannot possibly be the end of it. Hold on. Where's the police? Where's the HUD? I was going to say the knee on the neck. That's what I was going to say.
Where's him
but-
getting dragged out of the car?
Hold, you know what? I didn't know this was gonna end like that. Okay, let me get into my notes. Come, let's jump into it. All right. First things first. This is what happens when. Well, I'm gonna say this. This is one of the things that happens when you date men who did not grow up in homes with fathers who participated in things like this naturally so that they saw it growing up. So it's not anything that's out of the ordinary. All right. I don't see how that's controversial. I said it. This is what happens when you date men who did not grow up with fathers in the home who participated in actions like this so that it didn't seem out of the ordinary. And I stand by that statement. There have been a bunch of Black women who have come out. I'm going to show you some of the comments because I want to address some of these. Welcome, 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 welcome. Somebody saying I would have dropped him back off at home. No, 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 no. Call the police right then and there and have him taken out of the car in public. I'm going to read a comment from a young lady who said that this happened to her and she drove him back home. And I'm going to read what she says he did once he noticed that they were on the way back to the crib. So let us get this up here. Let us get the Facebook app here. All right. Here's one comment from a woman who says, "This is basic common sense. You don't need a father in the house for a man to know to get out and pump a woman's gas. This is ridiculous," right? Okay. And then a woman comes out and says, "Exactly. My 7-year-old offers to pump my gas, always has, yet I tell him, Mommy has it until you're older. He's watching my husband and his brothers do so. I offer to pump my husband's gas when he goes in and pays. He usually says no." So this is I want us to pay attention to this comment before we start looking at some of the other comments, right? In response to a woman saying this is basic common sense. And I actually responded back to this and I was like, no, unfortunately, this isn't basic or common. Children replicate what they see. And I didn't say just any father in the home, but one who pumps wife's gas. A boy who grows up seeing that thinks it's normal. So this is what I'm saying. That's my point. That's my point. Children replicate. I actually had to address this. Let me get to my comment because it's been very frustrating. Where is my comment? Here. So this is my comment. This is my Facebook page, right? So I wrote, regarding father in the home commentary, let me clarify. Listen again. I didn't say that there was no father in the home. I said he didn't grow up with a father in the home who pumped gas and did things like that. And I stand by that. Having just any father in the home is irrelevant. Young men who see fathers treating their moms don't see it as abnormal. This is why choosing how our young ones see us date slash love is important, right? Okay. So I want us to pay attention because I'm not talking about just any old father because a lot of people just say, "Oh, we're the fathers, we're the fathers." There's some fathers out there who are so detrimental that it's in the children's best interest to keep him away from the children. Let's just put that out there. There are a lot of people who are like, "Oh, we're the fathers, we're the fathers." Children grow up better when they have fathers in the home. I can't say that. I can't say that just having any man in the home because there are some men who sit up there drinking beer, smoking, playing video games, not working, and just laying around. That's not, how is that going to help the children? The children are going to see him doing that and they're going to think that that is normal. Your daughters are going to see the behavior of how the men that you are in a romantic relationship with, your sons are going to see it's not. So let's go slowly. Let's go slowly. Okay. Number one, right? If you have become impregnated or you've gone to the sperm bank or however it is that you've gotten the sperm and you decided that you're going to go full term, right? Please know that your children, both male and female, are going to need positive male role models. There's no other way around it. If you don't have father figures for them, right, they're going to, at the very least, need positive male role models. So if you know that you're about to have a child or you're going full term, you're going to have to think about what your network is like and what you're going to need to do in order to ensure the best possible outcome for your children. I don't understand why that's controversial. Ladies, we have to use our heads. We have to make smart decisions. I see a lot of us, they call in on the line, they're writing in the comments, they're like, oh, I'm having this bum's baby. Oh, I'm chasing him around for pay. Oh, I'm doing what is and then multiple. You're having multiple children from men who are not showing up. How many times do we continue to make the same choice, the same detrimental choice? Now, there are good parts about having a child, and there are down parts about having a child, and children need support. Children need, they need situations they can emulate to help them become the best version of themselves, to help them become a decent contribution to society. Some of us are setting our children up for failure by the decisions that we make before they even come into this world. Poor children. They come into this world and they have to deal with the choices that you've made. You know, let me just say this real quick because I was thinking about this as I was eating earlier, right? For some of our children, we are their first bullies. Some of us don't respect our children. Some of us don't respect our children's wants and needs. Some of us give our children we don't give them the benefit of the doubt. We give them the doubt of the benefit, that we think that they are inherently bad. I think about this as, as our parents get older and they need more help or assistance, or they start participating in behaviors that uh, they start making mistakes, right? And it makes me think about the cycle of life and how, for some of us, when our children make mistakes, we beat and whoop on our children. When our children are irritated and don't really feel like being bothered, we bully them and we act like we don't know what it's like to be irritated. It's like we expect for our children to be able to regulate their emotions and deal with all of these different things when we don't respect their bodies, we don't respect their space, we don't respect their boundaries, right? But then on the flip side, we give our parents the benefit of the doubt, because if your elderly parent leaves the stove on and sets off the smoke alarm, right? Are you going to start whooping and beating on your elderly parent? But some of you parents will be beating and whooping on your children. The reason why I bring this up is because there was a woman who commented on one of my videos, and she was like, my daughter is getting beat by her husband, and we didn't raise her that way. Her father never beat on me and all this other stuff, right? And I was like, well, what contact did she have with violence that made her feel that violence was okay? What contact did she have with violence of her being hit that made her go this? Because the thing is, when it comes to children, children are going to, the household that they grow up in, that is what's going to be considered normal. Like I have dated men in the past who didn't have fathers growing up. And there's always some deficits. You as a mother, you can talk about how your sons are perfect gentlemen and all of that. You don't know what your son is like dating. You don't know what he's like as a partner. Like, you can do the very best that you can, but there's certain things that our children, when they see it, they just replicate it, right? Getting out of the car, pumping gas, being affectionate, washing dishes when after you've cooked, you know, um, how he helps out around the house, what type of affection he shows to his partner. Like, it's not just, so first things first, it's important for us to have positive role models, for our positive male role models. So when you're getting ready to have children, and you have to start thinking about what your network looks like. Who do you have in your network? Who can you bring into your network? So which organizations can you get your child enrolled in so that they are able to come into contact with positive male role models? They are important, right? Secondly, it's more than just about positive male role models. Your children need to see you dating successfully. They need to see you in successful, loving, honorable relationships that support you, relationships that have intimacy and show normal intimacy around the house, that shows what type of family structure. Like, some of you don't realize your children are watching you. They're watching you date. And when you go out there and you're bringing bums inside the house, and then, you're out there and you're dating men who got tartar all over their teeth. Their teeth are shades. They look like, I name a stone, granite. They look like they got green and brown and orange tartar all over it. It looks like clusters from the earth all over their teeth. And then when your daughters come of age and you see that they start bringing home crusty toothed men or crusty toothed young boys, and you're like, oh my goodness, you get a mirror from your children in the same way, right? In the same ways that when your child is playing with their dolls and you're in your doll and they're beating up they little doll babies, right? In the same way that you see them talking, now get your stinking ass. Oh, you know what? As a matter of fact, there was a thing that I saw. There was a thing I saw, and I was like, when I saw it, I was like, I wonder where this little boy learned this at. Ah, damn it. I closed. Did I close this browser? Ah, me lad. Oh, it's here. It's here. 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 Let me bring this up so that you all can see, right? Because when I saw this, I was like, this little boy got this from somewhere, right? Look, I don't know what the teeth look, but you've seen it, clusters from the earth. All right, let's see if we can. Here, let's see. Which? mm, This is not the right one. Not the right one, baby. All right, go ahead and thumbs up the video, like the video, make sure that you are subscribed. Oh man, okay. All right, here. So listen to this little boy as he's playing. And I think it's great he's playing with a doll, right? Oh, where's the volume? Oh, here it is. Yeah.
You gotta do it. You her dad.
Put your feet in here.
Little stinky feet. Just like her dad.
I'm a grown up.
Okay.
Go get her mom.
What? You can't do it?
I'm not dealing with her.
You're not dealing with her?
You're her crying.
She not saying nothing.
I'm not dealing with her.
Dad, just try one more time. Please.
How not put her feet in here?
She don't know how. You gotta do it. You her dad.
Put your feet in here.
Little stinky feet. Just like her dad.
I'm a grown up.
Okay.
Go get her mom.
What? You can't do it?
I'm not dealing with her.
You're not dealing with her?
You're her crying.
She not saying nothing.
I'm not dealing with her.
Dad, just try one more time. Please.
So you see, I when I saw this, I was like, where is he? Now, what type of example is wait, Just Jay's going to mute. Lord of mercy. What's going on? When I saw this, I was like, what example does he have where the father figure is like, look, I ain't dealing with this crying child. Go get the mother. What example is he replicating? This is what I'm saying. How you are behaving in relationship, your children are seeing that. They are replicating that. How you date, who you bring around, what you think is acceptable. Please understand that your children see. They're taking note. They're pulling reference from what is normal. Listen, you all are the comments you all be putting out be so out out of order, out of pocket, right? So listen, why do I let you all put your comments on the screen? Listen. So nonetheless, right? Nonetheless, Um, Positive father figures are important. Your children need to see what healthy intimacy looks like, how a healthy home runs. Some of the tasks and duties and chores and distribution of chores and the splitting of chores and those types of things. Your children are going to see that, right? Let me pull up some of the other comments that people. Somebody wants to know if the mother in the video is displaying we haven't seen enough to know whether or not she's displaying emotional incest. We don't know. All right, so let's get back to some of the comments that I wanted to address with you all, right? All right. So Sheer wrote, it has nothing to do with not having a father. My brother was taught this by my mother. He just didn't have any home training, right? And so, okay, I never said that it that I never said that it was just about having a father or not having a father in the home. What I'm saying is, and I hope that I can clarify, and let me know if you all understand what I'm saying. When children see and experience things as normal, whether that's you beating and whooping on them, not respecting their body or their boundaries, letting them know that their opinion, their mood, their needs don't matter. When they go out there into the world, right? They that stuff is embedded in them as normal. As a matter of fact, they may even try to heal some of the wounds by dating and trying to heal those wounds in that relationship, like, oh, I'm finally going to get onto the other side of that by being in this relationship. Because screaming, you calling your child all types of bitches and niggas, saying all of this stuff, it becomes normal to the children. If your child sees the man of the house participating in certain types of behaviors, that is embedded as what is normal with no judgment. Children and their programming, the subconscious mind does not judge, it just receives. And between the ages of 0 and 9, it's just spongy. There's no filter, there's no critical filter. And then when they become around the age of 13, that's when they start developing their dating style from what it is that they have witnessed. So it's never too late, but I want us to ask ourselves these questions. What is it that we're doing? Let's see if I can find the another comment here so that we can address this, right? And then, this person named Willie commented on the video, and he puts up this picture, and he's like, to be a man is not easy. God bless all the hardworking men out there. And because this man is sitting in a garbage truck, right? He says hardworking men deserve submissive women. You don't deserve anything except what you put out there. Just because you work hard doesn't mean that you deserve for someone to submit to you. It's like black men and this obsession with submission is just really bizarre. It's like, work on fixing yourself, work on fixing the community. Stop being obsessed with whether or not a woman is following is submitting to you. It's bizarre, like how this is constantly conversation, right? Let's see. It's just, to me, it's just bizarre. This is somebody saying I need to stop talking. Oh, la 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 la. Here's a woman who comes out. She says, and mothers who fail to teach their sons are responsible also. If your mother have men in their lives and don't require anything of them, they treat women how they saw their mothers being treated, or how mothers allow their sons to treat them. I know men reared by a single mother and are the perfect gentleman because she taught him what to do. Okay, we can really only do but so much. we can really only do but so much. And I'm like, God, I wrote in the last sentence that how we date is important for how we date and love. It's important for our children to see that. I just don't understand. And then so Angela is hell bent on being like, this is the mother's issue. That's not true! Exclamation point. This is what happens when mothers don't teach boys to be gentlemen. There's no way. My mama would sit in the car and pump the gas while my brother is sitting in it. My mother would never open a door to a building if my brother was with her. Yeah, but you have to remember that sons are still sons. A mother is going to wipe her son's ass. A mother is going to fill out job applications for her son. A mother is going to go out there fighting and rallying for her son. There's a different relationship that exists. And also, you have to remember that look, all children come out of a mother's womb. They see mothers as God. But there comes a break where a son realizes that he is not a girl, he is not a woman, and it is not appropriate for him to be up in women's business and women's faces. And he starts looking for people who look like him, who move like him, who got the same genitalia as him. If you don't have positive male role models around your son, where is he going to derive his idea of manhood? This is how a lot of our sons end up getting caught up in the gangs. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. There comes a time in a young man's life where he is going to buck up, right? He's going to buck up and rise up against authority. And this is when you're going to need that strong male role in the home to put him down, put him back down. You're going to need that because it happens when these boys, when the little hairs start curling under their arms and curling down on their little sacks down there, right? They start smelling themselves. And then when they go out there and start smelling coochie, right? He's going to think that he's a bigger man than he is. And he is going to need, wait. Philly is saying, just Jay, you a bum, just like Tonya. Please provide proof that I am a bum, by all means, because it sounds like you're projecting. You're calling everybody a bum, but look at yourself in your own bumptitude. So anyway, he is going to start, once he starts going out there smelling himself and sniffing up behind little girls, he's going to think that he is a bigger man than he actually is. And he is going to need the bigger male, the bigger man, to put him back down into his place, right? And this is part of the reason that we have to make sure that when our sons, listen, you have got to do what it is that you need to do to date effectively, to date responsibly, to date conscientiously, right? And Brandy is saying, so true, Tonya. I raised two sons. Who did you have? Who did you have? Oh, my Lord. Now you all are arguing in the comments. I'm going to take your comments off the screen. Taking your comments off until you all start behaving. And then I'm probably going to start putting people into timeouts and stuff like that. So nonetheless, right? So I'm curious for some of you mothers out there who have had boys who have crossed over into the teenage years. Who did you have to put him back into a boy's place? I'm curious because I can imagine that this is something that happens in all young men's lives. Who do you have? Who do you do? Who does that? Because it's not the same when a mother does it. It's not the same. There's something about when a mother does it that causes the boy to rebel and go out into the streets. But when that father is there who stops him from getting led astray and knows how to relate to him in such a way that only men know how to relate to other men. Because I'm going to listen. What's going on? What's going on? Perry is saying open the phone lines. Okay, I'll open the phone lines after I read this comment, right? I'll open the phone lines after I read this comment. Hold on. Sorry. I need to read this comment from a young lady who talked about what happened to her when she tried to. All right, here. I'm going to put it up on the screen. All right. So, this is the comment here. It's on yesterday's video. She says, "This happened to me." I need to make this larger. Give me 1 second so that you all can read. All right. She says, "This happened to me." Oh, let me make it just a little bit smaller so that you all can be able to see the whole thing on the screen. There we go. All right. So she says, "This happened to me. I had already been to the grocery store, purchased everything for the barbecue at my house. I had opened, seasoned the meats and had them marinating in the fridge while I picked him up because his car was down. Gas low. I went to the station, went in, paid my money for pump. He refused to get out and pump gas. I filled my car and headed back to his house. When he realized that I was taking him home, he grabbed my new phone and held it out the window. When that failed to work at a light, he jammed my car into park while fighting with me to take out the keys. Being much bigger and stronger than me, he succeeded. I got out, walked around the car. Wait, no. He succeeded. He got out, walked around the car, snatched me out, and threw me into oncoming traffic. I had not been arguing or cursing him, and he tried to kill me. That was a warp for me, and I haven't dated anyone since. That was many years ago, right? So that is her story. And then she goes on, right? She says, hindsight is, because I said that must have been terrifying. I said, this is why I say call the police right at the gas station. You must get therapy and heal this trauma, right? Then she comes back and says, hindsight, I wish that I had. It didn't end there. I tried backing away from him through traffic as others honked. He grabbed and threw me back into the passenger seat, then drove to his house, cussing and going nuts. I thought about jumping out of the moving car, but knew that he would catch me again, warning me not to call the police or what would happen to me. Got some homegirls that I don't know that would handle me if he went to jail. I was terrified. He pulled into his driveway and proceeded to chase me around the car a couple of times until I made enough room to jump into the driver's seat, slam into reverse, door still open, and made my escape. I'm glad that his car was down, or he may have come after me again to finish the job. I don't know where this outrageous action came from. He started talking marriage 3 weeks earlier. All right, so I want us to just pay attention. Pay attention to that, right? So he tried to throw her into oncoming traffic. This was a big brouhaha. It was ugly. It was horrible. Is there somebody that's trolling? All right, here. I'm going to put this person in I'm going to put the person in timeout. If they come back with foolishness, then I'll go ahead and block them because I don't know what it is that they're saying, but I just put them in timeout. Right? So nonetheless, this is why I say call the police right there at the station. Get him taken out of the car, get his name on the system, all of that. Get him taken care of right then and there, because an angry man is a dangerous man. You do not want to be in the presence of a man. You don't know what he's capable of, especially these men who are love bombing and all this other stuff. He was talking about getting married 3 weeks earlier. This is how some of them do it. right? Cajun is saying similar story, never saw a red flag for violence. This is what I'm saying. You have got to walk very carefully as a woman. You've got to walk very carefully as a woman, because when you're navigating with these men who are stronger than you, larger than you don't want to make them angry. You don't. So you need to find bigger, stronger men to deal with him, right? Yeah, so let's get back to the I want to find that comment, right? I want to find the comment, then I'm going to open up the phone line. So get ready to call in. If you need to get ready to take a break at work, make sure that you get ready to take that break. I'm going to check the apples in just a moment, but I want to find the comment, right? Because this person says I would pump the gas and then drop him off at his house. And I'm like, go to YouTube and read, because that you don't want to keep a person in your car. You don't want to continue to have um I I'm gonna open up the phone lines, but I really I want to talk. I don't want to hear horror stories. I want to talk about the importance of children seeing you date successfully. That's what I want to talk about. And this person's talking about these are tit for tat relationships. She could be the type that doesn't like the traditional girlfriend wife duties, such as cooking, washing clothes, etc. This can make a man not want to do traditional boyfriend husband duties. And if you're not willing to do traditional duties before getting married, you don't need to get married. Like, what are you talking about? I was telling him his logic is not logicking. As a man, as the leader, if you're with a person who is behaving in a way that makes you behave in a way that is contrary to your internal programming and your internal desires, why are you still with that person? Get out of that relationship. This is silly. Like, come on. This woman says her husband would curse her out. This person says, unless it's a case where she asked him to pump the gas while she go pay and he didn't, then I don't see what the big deal and what the fuss is about. Is pumping gas that hard that it needs to be, that it needs a man's strength to do it? So she's going on and on about how she don't care. She pumps her own gas, even if there's a man sitting in the car, and she don't believe in gender roles and all this and the other. And I'm like, listen, the mere fact that she asked him to pump the gas and he's arguing with her about not pumping it. If you ask a man to do something and let him know what your needs are or your wants and desires, and he flat out refuses and is arguing with you, that ain't the right man. It's like we sit here and we ignore all of these warning signs and we act as if these situations are existing outside of the context in which they are. She asked him to pump the gas. If there is a passenger in your car, even if it's my girlfriend, if there, because I told you I was with a male and a woman in my car, and I was like, okay, so I pulled right up at the gas station. If you ask somebody who is riding with you to do something and they decide that they're not going to do it, this is problematic. Look, so the fact that you're asking the fact that you're asking, if that person is going to say flat out no and feel that they still deserve access to you, to the ride, to whatever, this is a problem. So nonetheless, let me just see. Let's see. I want to find that comment. All right. Then Angel says a man doesn't have to be in the home for him to be raised as a gentleman. And I didn't say that, right? I did not say that. Oh, why am I not able to find the comment? It's like, let me see. Oh, let me put up most relevant. Let me put up most relevant comment and then see what we have here. All right. This woman says this has me ready to teach my sons to pump gas. Okay. Look. My husband grew up in a home without a father and he's the perfect gentleman. This lousiness is in these boys' blood, or they've been babied by their mamas their whole lives. Oh, gosh. Never once did I say that a man raised without a father wouldn't be a gentleman. There's nowhere that I said that. I didn't say that. I said that when men see certain interrelational activities, gender-based interrelational activities as abnormal, that it's a result of them growing up in a household where they did not witness that. Point blank. I don't see how that's so confusing. I'm going to open up the phone lines in a moment. I'm looking for this comment of the woman that says she raised 5 children alone. Let's see. Here we go. Ethel says, Miss TKO, you need to speak on what you know, exclamation, exclamation. I raised 5 boys to be men as a single mom by choice, exclamation, exclamation. Only one was biological and all 5 were and still is perfect gentlemen. And she got the angry face. I don't understand what's making women so angry about saying that positive father figures are necessary for children. If there's no father in the home, then who do you have that is going to be a positive male role model for your sons and daughters? Who do you have? Who is showing the example? This woman says she raised 5 boys alone by choice. She said only one was biological. So, okay, I hear you. I hear you. However, there are women out there who continue to date and procreate, choosing bad, making bad gambles, right? Again and again and again. And it's like, do we not care about setting our children up for success? Do we not care about raising our children in environments where we don't have enough money to properly care for them? Do we not care? Like, come on, Black women, what are we doing? It's like some of our neighborhoods look the way that they look because we continue to have bums babies. We need to cut some of these people off from the gene pool. What are we doing? I understand you want to have a child. Okay. It doesn't cost that much from the sperm bank. What doesn't cost that much? Like, if you want a child that badly, it's like, who is it that you're choosing to be the donor for your child? How are they going to show up? What type of life is this child going to have? Is your child, it's like, come on. Let me open up the phone lines. Whew. Man, oh man. Ugh. We got an apple that has come in. I'll read that in just a moment. You can go ahead and send your apples in. I'm going to check the Cash Apps in just a moment. The link to send a Cash App is in the description. Let me play the commercial real quick to advertise the text notification squad, and then we're going to come back with the phone lines already open. Are you tired of missing Tonya TKO's live videos? Arriving late when the video is well underway or about to end? Are you fatigued of only seeing a live video randomly while perusing YouTube and Facebook? Or worse, randomly unsubscribed? Well, now you can get a text notification whenever I go live. No longer are we dependent on the algorithm of these fickle platforms. For just $1.99 a month US and Canada or $4.99 a month international, you get a personalized text message 15 minutes before each live show. Now, you can show up early with the Text Squad, meet other people from all over the world, and get invited to secret broadcasts off-platform. Most importantly, support your favorite independent creator. Go to TonyaTKO.com and click on text. Join the TKO Text Squad today for just $1.99 a month US and Canada or $22 a year if you pay in advance. $4.99 a month international, $50 a year if you pay in advance. You'll never again be tardy to the party. I'll see you on the next broadcast. TonyaTKO.com/text. Are you tired of this? All right. So welcome back. All right. So the phone lines are open. So 323-488-3149. We are talking about we are talking about the importance of positive father figures in the home. I hope that I've made myself clear in case there was any confusion. I'm confused by how this is controversial. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Tonya, this is Katie from Florida.
Hey, Katie from Florida. Welcome. How do you always manage to get through?
Uh, I don't know. I just put the number in and it goes through. I don't know.
You got some powerful mojo, girl. All right, so welcome in. So come talk
Thank
to us.
you.
We're talking about positive father figures being a need in children's lives.
Okay, so first off, I'd just like to say that clearly Tanya is not saying single moms can't do it. You know, she just say, I view your whole message of saying you just need to have a positive male role model,
Hmm.
and you have to be positive yourself as a woman for your children because children are mirrors and they could reflect
Yeah.
what they normally see in the home. And I could relate to it, you know, not to give a boohoo story, and I'll keep it short. My father was there, etc., and married. He was a doctor, the quote unquote educate lame type, and he had four boys and one daughter. Well, two. My
Mm.
sister died, but I'm the only
Oh,
one
okay.
remaining. And you know, as a little kid, I seen how he treated my mom, his wife. He didn't treat her
Hmm.
well. He cheated on her, keep beating her, and abused his kids, everyone. And
Mm.
me, at a time when I grew up, I was I didn't know better because I was just looking for any male approval because I didn't see a positive one and I didn't see my dad treating my mom as a good one, and he never told me what kind of guy to go for. So I would know it, but over time I matured, and you know, my brothers, two of them had to teach me instead of my father. They had to teach me what kind of
Mm.
guy to go for. And I was good. You know, my oldest brother wasn't here and the father spoiled him a lot and the mother spoiled him a lot. And he ended up
Mm.
being a bum. He ended leaving his newborn and his the mother of his kid. Uh,
Mm.
but it was mostly my second and third oldest brother that taught me and they led me. So I had positive male figures that were my brothers, even though my father was in the home and he failed. So, like
Mm.
I said, it's important to have a positive man, even if he's not your husband or baby daddy. As long as they could be your brothers, your cousins, and any male figure that you're close to, and you know that's good. They could help you with like your kid, and they could show the kid how to be a good guy in the future. And
Yeah.
because you as a woman, it's okay to believe you could do it, but males by nature are looking for something else that you can't give naturally. So it's
Mm.
better to try to bring another male in to try to help them through the way. You know, they're looking for a leader more
Mm.
while you have it's going to be hard for you as a woman to try to successfully do that. You can do it, but it's just like, you know, your biology and their biology, they don't go match and match. So you have to play smart and find a positive
Mm.
male factor. And it's very important because you don't want your children in the streets or being a statistic and incarcerated and, you know, treating other women bad. So, yeah.
Okay, so thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
What is dating for you like now, considering what it is that you saw growing up?
Oh my God. My dating life is so calm now. Like, I had to get my head like bashed in a while, not literally, but figuratively by
Mm.
my two brothers. Like they have to set me in straight. They're like, you are a very beautiful woman. You have everything, the body, the looks, etc. You're confident, etc. And you should love yourself. You should vet men carefully. And they taught me what kind of man to go for. And I listened. And I am in a happy relationship right now. And it's going so smooth. You know, there's rough times, but you know, we make it through. We talk to each other.
Yeah.
We don't disrespect another. And my boyfriend is like, he's the type to always open doors for me, and you know,
Mm.
he always asking me for help, etc. And I couldn't like thank my brothers enough for that. And
Okay,
it's
so
relating back to this
question.
topic, that's what happens when you have positive male figures. You get to
Yeah.
know what you tolerate.
Okay, so I want to say something before I forget, right?
Yeah.
That it's more than just for me. That's where it begins. That there needs to be positive male roles in children's life, both male and female. However, I also feel that it's important for children to be able to see healthy dating, healthy love. So it starts with the positive male figures, but it also extends out into what healthy dating and healthy interpersonal romantic relationships look like. Where did your brothers gain that from if your father was kind of bummy?
I don't really know, but they were always the type. That's weird. Like I wonder that. I guess they were so just. They started off just defending my mother a lot. I would say that's the
Mm,
root. Because when they see how my father treated my mother, they was like, "Mom, he's not good for you. Mom, why are you still with him? Mom, you need to do this. Mom, you should love yourself, etc." And they couldn't even deal with it because she wouldn't
mm,
listen. And she's like, "I
mm.
have to be with him, sacrifice it for my two youngest kids. I'm the second youngest. There's a little brother
Okay,
after me. So she's like, I have to
okay.
sacrifice and try to be happy and try to work it out." And they had to actually move out. And
Mm,
unfortunately, they moved out because they couldn't deal with like my father, etc. And they always requesting that my mom come live with them and they'll help her, etc. But she's still not taking it. But with my brothers, I notice how they treat their girlfriends. Like with
that
this
was going to be my
situation about
next
the car,
question.
my brother, if he drives or passenger, he's always pumping the gas. He always left
Okay,
like his girlfriend on the car, pumping.
okay. So, question
Yeah.
for you. What healthy relationships did your brothers witness? Because your father is not their father, correct?
No, we have the same father and mother
Oh, I thought you said that you had
biologically.
an older brother that had a different
No,
father.
I said my older brother is not like my second and third brother. He's a bum.
Oh, okay. So one of the boys fell by the wayside.
Hmm?
One of the brothers fell by the wayside.
Yeah, one of my brothers is a bum. The other two oldest is good guys, even though their father is abusive. It's weird how
Okay,
it
so
works out. I guess.
why don't you do this for me? If you could, can you send your brothers a text real quick and ask them what positive relationships had they witnessed? Because I'm curious about that because I want to hear because it doesn't necessarily have to be a father because you know my father was orphaned as a child. And when I asked him, I said, you know, Dad, where did you learn, you know, how to, you know, how to be a good partner, a good father, etc. He said that his older brother, that he would look at his older brother's relationship and that he mirrored some of the things that he saw because he just really didn't know from what to draw from, right? And so I wonder
Yeah.
who your brother saw, whether it was somebody in the family, whether it was a family friend, what relationship did they see that they mirrored? If you could send both of them a text and then
Yeah.
if you can message me
Yeah, we
back.
have a family group chat. I just texted them. They're at work, so it might like
Oh,
make them see it late. But I need to like know where they got it though, because I don't
yeah.
get how in a toxic marriage and family, maybe it's the culture also that also plays into it. But
Well, did you have
and the people they
uncles
encounter.
who were married and stuff like that?
Yeah, like everyone in my family are married and
But
etc.
with healthy
And no
relationships
one have a
though.
baby dad. Like they're all married, and mostly the people they're friends with. That also I think hits. It was people with girlfriends and because and they were loyal to each other and etc. While my oldest brother was around like the bad boys when he was in high school. I think that kind of plays a part into it.
Yeah, of course it does. It does. So, if you're not able to get back through on the phone lines, can you leave a comment in the comments about what
Yeah,
examples
sure.
they used and drew from? Because I think it's important. It may be able to give ideas to women about who they can have around their sons, so that their sons can, or single mothers, who they can have around their sons so that maybe their sons can be able to draw from those people. How close do they need to be? And somebody in the comments said they probably learned what not to do from your father. But you know what? The way that programming works.
Oh, I just realized. My uncle, he used to be with us. He used to spend time with those two mostly, and my uncle was married, and he always like sent stuff to his wife. And he mostly, I would say, my uncle was mostly the number one role model and kind of father figure, a real father figure
Mm,
to my two brothers. They don't even call my real, like our real dad. They're like, he's not worth that title, etc.
mm,
So I'd
okay.
say they mostly got it from their uncle.
Oh, so you got the message back so soon?
No,
Oh, you were just
no,
guessing.
I
Oh,
just realized
oh, oh, oh,
something.
oh,
They
okay.
mostly spend time with the uncle more.
Oh, okay. So your old
Yeah,
the
yeah.
the,
But
the
I don't want
brother
to
that
hold
went
on
by
too
the
long, Tonya.
okay, okay. All right, okay.
But
Well,
thank
thank
you. I'll be
you.
in the chat. I
All
love
right,
you.
perfect. Love you too, Mama. Bye bye. All right, so phone lines are open. Just Jay, um, come on up. Call. Let's see. Phone lines are open 323-488-3149. I need you all to behave in the comments. And Nay says my son is 15 and he has traits just like his dad who isn't around. I'm curious to find out, are those good traits or not so good traits? I'm curious about that right now. So let's see. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where you calling from?
This is just Jay. Tonya, how you doing?
Oh, you got through. See, look at the luck. The gods. What are you doing in the comments? Why are you fussing with people in the comments?
See, it's not my fault. I'm just saying, but I
It
am
is your
responsible for
fault for
how I
how you
respond. So I
participate.
apologize.
Exactly. Because you know what ends up
I've been
happening is if your comments are on the screen and you're arguing with a person, when I look at the screen, I don't see their comments, I see yours. I see
no,
you
absolutely. I understand why
behaving
you do what you do.
poorly. Uh-huh.
Yeah, no worries. I totally get that because you don't know what's going on and you ain't got time to catch up. But as usual, folks can't read. So anyway,
Mhm.
but I did want to add in a couple of things, just
Mhm.
from my experience, because my situation with my oldest, in general, just the ups and downs of parenting,
Mhm.
and what I did for him, at least the things that I attempted to do and implicate in his life or just expose him to. I had my son in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program
Mhm.
over 10 years ago, and he's still with his big brother. And so they've
Mm.
been together for over 10 years. They're not even in the program no more,
Oh
but
wow.
they have been together for over 10 years. And ever
Nice.
since then, they would connect every week. If he said he was coming, he was coming. He always kept his word. He always followed through. And that's what was important to me because regardless to how some people see it, whether it was voluntary or involuntary, when a child doesn't have the other parent, in my opinion, there's still an issue of abandonment sometimes.
Yes.
Whether it's detrimental to them or not, I still feel like it does contribute to who they are, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I was worried about a person that had integrity, that was able to follow through,
Mhm.
and yeah, so he's always been that person. He did
Yeah.
things in order. He was in the Peace Corps. He served in Panama. He's an engineer.
Oh,
He
nice.
got
Wait,
married.
how old
So
is he?
after
Oh, my bad. Okay.
he's no, you're fine. He's in his late 30s now, I believe, mid
Oh,
late
is
30s.
he? And you
So
say he's married
yeah,
already?
yes. So what he did was
Mm.
after he finished Peace Corps, he moved
Yeah.
to the area I'm in, and he found a young lady here, and they settled
Mhm.
down and got married. He didn't have any school debt when he got married. They had
Mm.
kids, so as far as doing it the conventional way, I
Yeah.
wanted my son to see that, and he was able to
Yeah.
show him that. Um, and they got a house. They purchased a house, and they just
Nice.
they just living a regular life, a quote unquote regular life. But that's what I wanted him to see. And I was
Yeah.
married at one point in time, but when that
Mm.
became a situation, I didn't. Things happened that I didn't want my son to feel was normal, so I left, and
Okay.
I put it like that. You feel me? And that was the main reason I left. So. You
Thank
have
you.
people these days that shame folks for being single and whatever. It's like you have the slightest idea as to why they're single. I mean,
Mhm.
ultimately, it could be a number of things. It doesn't mean that they're just so damaged and broken that they can't maintain relationships. Me personally, there was a level of dysfunction that we both had. And like I
Mm.
say, I just didn't want my son to think it was normal. So I had to
Yeah.
remove myself from the situation. You know, I would rather
Yes,
be single than
absolutely.
my son think it's okay to see like just pure toxicity and dysfunction in the house. So
Yes.
what I did when I moved out here, I connected with a few people, and there was a black family here, and I mean, yeah, they black. I still think it's important for people to see folks that look like them, especially when they coming up, you know.
Mhm.
So they were married, and they were a loving couple. They had their issues, but I used to
Mhm.
enjoy watching them. Like if she was in the kitchen, he'll be behind her, like you know pinching her or kissing her neck, giving her little love taps
Mhm.
and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So I made it my business to visit them often, and me and my son
Mhm.
would go over there because I wanted him to see what a
Yeah.
loving relationship looked like. So give me a second, babe. So in general, I think it's important. So if you know loving couples that express love to one another and stuff like that, and you don't have that in your household with children, I think it's important to surround them with that imagery. And then
Yeah.
in general, I just tried to pull from whatever positivity that I saw in other men that I trusted.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, and to me, that's the best you can do. And some people disagree with me. Some people
Mm.
disagree with me because I feel like I get what you I call. Um, Give me a second, baby. So, yeah, these children got me losing my train of thought. So, yeah, anyway, I thought it was necessary to explain to my son, I'm not a man. So, there are certain aspects of being a man that I can't teach you. Some
Mm.
women disagree with me, and that's fine. But I'm not a man, I don't have a penis.
Yeah.
So, there are some experiences you're going to have that I can't relate to. Can I teach you to
Yeah.
be responsible? Can I teach you to be mindful of others and compassionate and express empathy? I can instill those things in you, but when it comes to certain things that people that have penises are exclusive to, I can't teach you that. And to me,
Yeah.
it's not to dismiss me being a woman because I still have much to offer as a mother, but I'm not a
Yeah.
man. So I
Yeah,
kind of get confused with that.
I'm so glad that you said that. Hey, can you put me on speakerphone?
Me?
Yes, please.
Okay, all right, all right. Okay, you on speaker.
You don't hear your mother's on the phone?
Ooh, that's Miss Tonya TKO talking to you.
You live on the air talking. Your mother's a part of a show right now. Didn't she say she was going to get with you in just a moment?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, give your mother a moment. She's almost done. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
So
mm.
yeah, that was my whole thing with not being a man, and some people kind of get offended by that for whatever reason, and it's not to offend, but I know I'm not a man, and you know me,
Yeah,
I can be um in my masculine frame a lot, and I
yeah,
think in general that's just kind of my nature, but also I think I don't always have the luxury of resting in my feminine energy because
yeah,
I have boys.
yeah,
And like you said, when they start getting hair and they start getting musty, oh, they gonna buck up every time.
yeah,
They gonna buck
yeah,
up every time. And if it ain't a man in the house, then you overcompensate by being in your masculine energy. So
yeah,
people don't seem to. Sometimes they don't seem to take that in consideration. They just so masculine and whatever. I mean, it is
yeah.
what it is. But it
Yeah,
don't
but let
bother
me
me
let
none
me let me
because
ask you this question. What is it that
sure.
you're doing to demonstrate firsthand in the house a positive, loving, intimate, romantic relationship? Are you dating? What you doing?
I'm not dating.
Mm,
Honestly, I'm open to dating, but I ain't gonna lie, Tonya. My little one, he's 6, right? So
mm,
I'm at a place where I do feel like I am very cautious, and I have a lot of
yeah,
anxiety about
yeah,
dating, and I think because he's so small, you feel me? I would be more open to taking more risks. If he wasn't so small, but I
yeah.
think it's just
Well, you
a
know
lot
what?
of the stuff I
Listen.
see.
So there's two different things. Number one, if you know of other, good, upstanding, Black men who are doing the damn thing, who are single and marriage minded, let me know. Drop me a line. Shoot them over here. And when you're ready to, to date and settle down, and you're looking for to be match made, let me know. Okay, let me know.
Absolutely, and I
Let
do
me
tell
bring
guys
love
that I know that
together.
I find to be good dudes. You know, hey, if you know a single man, send them my way. Cause you know, in my area, yeah, I'm open. You feel me? But culturally, I'm deprived here, so
Mm,
I don't see a lot of what I relate to here. And plus, this area is very family oriented. Like people in
mm-hmm.
their 20s and stuff. It's
They're
just a lot of
already settled
married
down.
couples
Yeah,
here
yeah,
as
yeah,
well. So yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna let you get the other calls, but
All
I
right.
just
Well,
wanted to give
thank
my
you
little
so much.
input. All right,
Thank
Tonya.
you.
Have a good day.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
You too. Bye bye. All right. Phone lines are open 323 um 488-3149. We're talking about fathers, the importance of having positive male role models. I'm also listening to what single mothers have done and how they have been able to be of service to their boys when their boys are coming of age, because there's certain ways that men relate to one another, talk to one another, a language that they have that we just maybe not have, and so we need to be able to have men speak to boys in the ways that boys and men communicate. So you're on the Ear Live with Tanya. What's your name and where you calling from?
I got through. This is Simone from Florence, Italy.
Hey, everybody's getting through tonight who's setting the intention. Come through, Simone. Come through. So, what is your commentary? And then after your call, we're going to check the apples and then go from there. So, talk to me. What's your commentary this evening?
Okay, I just wanted to quickly comment on like the important like I think I understand like single mothers that have to raise boys on their own.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that women should protect their womb more, especially when it
Mm,
comes to reproducing, because in other cultures, I travel a lot. In other cultures, when men get the women pregnant, they do tend to marry them.
yeah.
And there are a lot of things that do come along when the men marry the women, like the pumping of the gas or the
Mm,
paying for certain things. Like that just kind of happens. And there's just like this cultural agreement that this is what we should do. And I think like in our culture, in Black culture, I feel like we are like so hardened and kind of like this is how we are. And even though I think we collectively like understand that we want a change of sort, we are like so resistant towards it. At least when it comes to like certain things with like Black men. Like Black men want to change the narrative, but they
mm,
don't want to do the work to change the narrative. And it's just
mm,
like there's so much hypocrisy in that. A lot of like when I think of Black women now, I don't think of single mothers and all of the things that people thought of with like Black mothers and single mothers in the 90s and the early 2000s. I think of success and entrepreneurship and all this other stuff, and
mm-hmm,
that didn't come easily. Like change isn't like I think once upon a time, maybe it was maybe almost not a year ago, but you made the you told the story about the caterpillar that was like transforming into the butterfly, and if
mm-hmm,
you like help them out of the
mm,
cocoon, like
mm-hmm,
it's the
mm-hmm,
process. I
mm-hmm.
I think you told that, and
Yes,
I
I
think it's sort of
did.
kind of
My
like it's
father
like
told me that story about the butterfly. For those of you who hadn't heard this story, I'm going to make it quick because I see that you're calling from Italy. So I know this call, I don't know how expensive
yeah.
it is, but basically the butterfly coming out of or the caterpillar coming out of the cocoon, and the little boy saw it struggling, so he opened up the cocoon, and the caterpillar fell to the ground and was never able to fly because it was in struggling to get out of the cocoon that the body is squeezed, and the fatty parts are pushed all the way through so that it's proportionate for the wings to be able to lift it. So when the boy thought he was helping by opening up the cocoon, he actually stopped the butterfly from ever being able to fly because it was never able to go through that process to lengthen out the body. So that's the story.
And that's like that's a moment of discomfort. Like
Yeah.
there's discomfort and change, and that comes with change. It doesn't happen just like when you go from elementary school to middle school, you have to, there's a discomfort in having new friends and this and that and learning new things, and like that changing, that discomfort. It seems like it never happens with certain groups of people, and that's
Mm.
why things don't change. And I know that there's a lot of problems in the U.S. There's problems everywhere. But like with
Mhm.
that, when it comes to like, I was watching the video that you put the other day with the guy getting out to pump the gas, and like
Yeah.
I thought it was just preposterous. I was just like, well, if she's gonna pay, then at least get out, like automatically get out. Like he should have just been out. Like, do you want regular? Do you want premium? Do you want diesel? Like it just
Mhm.
seemed like that, and so that was just something that really like sat with me, of like just a cultural shift that was
Yeah.
needed. And even here in Italy, there are single mothers. It does exist, but
Mhm.
like that type of thing is a cultural shift that says like, okay, this is what we want to be in, what we want to be like in the same like alignment with, of like men who take care of their women. Yes, a woman can
Mm.
physically get out of the car and pump her own gas, but there is something that comes with certain roles. And if you want a traditional woman, which it seems that a lot of men want, they say they don't want an independent woman. So that means they want a dependent woman, which means that
Mm.
they have to do things in that sense. So I just like watching from this side of the world. I just watch and I'm just like, what the heck do they want over there?
Over where? Hold on. Where are
So
we talking about? Where?
no, I'm saying in the States, in that particular, like when the guy was pumping the gas. I was like, well, what the heck, or
Oh.
what the heck do they want
You
the
know what?
women
I'm
to
glad you
want?
brought
They
this
don't want
up because I have not been able to say this, but I was thinking it, and I actually responded back to this girl, the girl who was writing, talking about what my hands ain't broke. I could pump gas. This is a very feminist. It's a feminist standpoint. I was actually reading this book with essays from a feminist, right? Some of the essays are really good. Some parts of the essays have takeaways, but the one part of it, the woman was like that a factor of oppression is men, attempting to do things for women that they're perfectly capable of doing themselves, like opening the door, pumping gas, or things like that. Like women are perfectly capable, and that a facet of the gender oppression is men, you know, acting as if being a woman is an ailment. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but keep that over there. But the thing about it is that there are so many black men who are upset with the feminist movement, but a lot of their ideals are in alignment with feminist ideals, like the going 50-50 and the her pumping her gas and paying and all of this other stuff. These are the feminist ideals that these men double or forked tonguedly try to denigrate. They try to disparage feminist ideals, but the feminist ideals are what they themselves have.
yeah. Yeah, it's kind of just to me it's just it's confusing. It's so confusing from this part of the world where there's just certain things where you're just like, well, why is that such a big deal? Especially if the woman is expressing it. Like
Yeah.
if it's not a big deal for her to do it, then it shouldn't even be a big deal for you to do it either. Especially if it's not costing you anything. I don't know. There's just like I was even explaining, like, I mean, not to get off topic really quick, but even just like hip hop and the crazy stuff that's going on with the culture, with that and the takeoff thing. I was explaining that to my boyfriend. It was just like, as I was saying it, I was just like, oh my God, there are so many problems that it seems like like the same story being told, tale as old as time. And so anyway,
Mm.
it's always a pleasure watching you from over here, Tanya.
Yeah. What time is it in Italy right now? It must be very late. Midnight?
It's 11:42. Yeah.
Ooh, child. Okay. Ooh. All right. Well, you know what? We
Yeah.
appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much.
Thanks for taking my call. Good night.
All right. Good night. All right. So, what is that I hear? Wait, what is that? Hey. All right, let me take these apples. All right. So Selenia sends in $25 and says, thanks. I needed to hear this message today. Well, you're welcome. What was it about the message that you needed to hear? I'm curious. All right. Oh, she comes back and says, truth. My son was wearing a bonnet because Lord have mercy. You see? Yeah. You see? Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I mean, we have so many men who have grown up without understanding the separation that must happen between men and women, where women's folk business and male folk business separates, you know? So, yeah, so the little boy was wearing a bonnet. Yeah, because, it's just, and you know what the thing about it is that there are men with longer hair, so they have started to make male bonnets because, especially nowadays, men are growing their hair out. They have had to start making male bonnets. And they also have, little satin skull caps like the one that I wear because my hair is so short. But so they do have ways for men to have their protective styles in. Tony sends $5 and says, a mom can come off as manipulative. They boy need men. Girl told you something. Listen to what the listen. What? Wait. Okay, let me read this again. A mom can comes off manipulative. They boy need men. Okay, so let me ad lib. So I imagine that she's saying a mom can come off as manipulative. Boys need men. Okay, listen, I don't know how the manipulative part comes into play. Manipulative in what way? Huh? Are you talking about getting their sons to pump the gas if they're also their caregivers? Like I can understand how there can be some confusing messages coming across. All right, the green vegan sends 444 and says, "We not call knockouts for nothing. Lord have mercy." You all are some of you are just terrible, just terrible. Let me put some hearts in here. Oh, I should have done a boxing glove. Go ahead and throw up your boxing glove emojis if you are a knockout. All right, so we're gonna get these phone lines back open. All right, phone lines are open 323-488-3149. We're gonna check the apples in just a moment, and then we're gonna be getting out of here. We're gonna take one or two more phone calls, and then we're gonna get out of here. I wanna hear from some. Kimon says, don't you see I was trying to distract you? You think happy thoughts? Wait, you're so funny. Thank you, Kimon. Thank you. Thank you. Just Jay is saying, I make my own Kool-Aid, trauma bond, and protect elsewhere. Oh, I had to put someone in a timeout earlier because they were calling children demons. Um, One thing that we're not going to do is we're not going to disrespect children. Children did not choose their circumstances, so we're going to be decent people, decent adults, okay? You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Anna, and I'm calling from Detroit, Michigan.
Hi, Anna. Welcome to the line. So talk to us. What is your comment this evening about the topic at hand?
Thank you for having me, first of all. I just want to say, well, I kind of have a dilemma right now. So I was in a really abusive relationship. It was physically, mentally, emotionally, and
Mm,
financially abusive.
mm,
And I had two daughters. The reason why I was with this guy, because at the time I didn't feel like I was worth anything. So I
mm,
felt like it was in my best interest to choose who chose me. So
mm,
I was with this guy for like 2, 3 years, and I have daughters by him. And
mm,
my daughters, they really love him. They love being around him. They love going over to his house and just spending time as they should because he's their father. But I
mm,
know that he is still abusive. So he switches girlfriends very, very often. And I know that he's abusing his girlfriends. I can always see it in their face when I go. I can look at them and just spot bruises, makeup hiding bruises and stuff like that. So I'm at, like, I don't know if I should just restrict their all. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't know if I should restrict the access to him,
How old are
period,
your
or should I?
daughters?
I have a 3 year old and, well, she's 4 now, so a 4 year old and a 5 year old.
Okay. Well, conversations are very important. Like having conversations with your children. Remember, at that age, under the age of 9, they do not have a critical mind filter. So they're not able to filter information out with a critical mind. So you're going to have conversations with them because everything that they see, they're going to take as truth. And they are being
Right.
programmed to see the behaviors of their father as normal. So do you have healthy relationships that they can see and draw from?
No, pretty much after I stopped dealing with him, I just stopped dating. Period. Like I just feel like I just really just would rather just be alone for the rest of my life. Like I'm very content being alone, and the only reason that I was ever in a relationship because I felt that was what I needed to do. But I don't mind being alone. So I just
Okay,
feel like that's
so
that's probably the best choice for me and for them because I don't want to risk anybody else having an influence on them that might be harmful to them as they grow older.
yeah, so let's do this, right?
Mhm.
Let's get you into therapy, right? Because you're going to have to heal those wounds. You're going to have to be able to work on whatever issue and programming it is that you have that had you in this abusive relationship to begin with. So you have insurance right now?
I do.
Okay, so how likely is it that if I asked you to talk to your insurance company to see how you could find a therapist, how likely is it on a scale of 1 to 10 that you do that?
I don't know. I mean, therapy is kind of scary to me because it's like if I do go to therapy, I just see it like me just digging up everything, and I kind of don't really want to know myself that intimately because I'm afraid. I guess I don't want to dig too deep. You know what I mean? And maybe cause more trauma, or just even
Well,
remember more trauma.
Well, you know what? And I hear that you're getting choked up, right? And that's okay. You're in a safe space. You can let it out, right? One of the things that I will say is just because you don't address it doesn't mean that it's not there. You know,
Yeah.
I knew a person who was diagnosed with the big C word, right? I don't know how many
Mhm.
words we can or can't say on YouTube, but this person was diagnosed, and one of the stages of grief is denial. So this person was in denial. They didn't do the things that they needed to do to protect their life. They didn't take it seriously. They didn't think that it was possible that they would die. And as we come upon here today, this person is no longer on the earth. Just because you don't pay attention to it does not mean that it's not there, does not mean that it doesn't have an effect on you, does not mean that it doesn't affect how you navigate. And drudging up those things, like, I don't want you to open up those wounds here with me because I am not equipped to walk with you on that journey. Getting
Right.
yourself a qualified psychological professional who you relate to, who you have a build rapport with and have that relationship with, that person is your tool to be able to use for your healing. They'll be able to work with you through that process because the things that you pull up, like, I'm a life coach. The difference between a life coach and a therapist is a life coach, like, if you want to achieve a goal, a life coach will help you pack your bags to be able to know what it is that you want to have along to do for this goal. A therapist helps you unpack your bags from the past, and they're qualified to be able to assist you on this journey.
Right.
So this is something that you have to invest in. You have to invest your time. And this is something that, I mean, look, life is so short. I had a loss in I had a loss behind the scenes recently that I was telling you all about. And this person, what hurts so much about the loss of this person is that this person was in the process of healing. And, this person was going through the motions of finding healing, and things had been really rough for this person for a really long time. And the person finally took the steps to get onto the other side. And right at the very beginning of the journey, this person died.
Oh, wow.
And there's no guarantee. Like, your life is important. Work on your stuff today, because every moment that you spend in torment is time that is taken away from a blissful life that you could be enjoying. Like, we hear that you're suffering. We hear that the pain is still so very close to the surface. And so you have got to respect, honor, and love your life enough that you take the steps that you need to right now, that you know that your life is worth it, your time on this earth is worth it.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and it's true. Just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Like, I know I would benefit from therapy, but it's just so hard to take the first step. And then plus, I'm like a single mom. I have 3 kids and no help at all. It's like everybody is more or less basically laughing at me. I try my best. Like, I'm doing well. I work a lot, and my kids, they have everything that they need and most of what they want. So that's basically where all of my time goes, and I'm proud of that. But I guess torment was a good word. It was a good, you know, way to describe what's going on. Because I'm not really emotional, and it's crazy that I'm even crying right now. I'm not emotional. I cry. I never cry about anything. I'm not upset about anything ever. But I don't know. I guess I'm just it's starting to explode and like
Yeah.
leak over.
Yeah, of course, which is natural. So big hugs to you. Um, it's inevitable. Any bridge that is taking constant pressure and battering, any structure will crumble after a while. And so, you've been through a lot. And so it's scary, yes. So if you were a part of the text notification squad, we would help you get an accountability partner that would follow up with you and just make sure that you follow through in getting making the phone calls to find a therapist. I'm looking for a therapist right now, and you've got to start making these phone calls now, because a lot of therapists are booked, busy, and some of these therapists need therapists their doggone selves. So you especially after this long pandemic, it's been very difficult on a lot of people. So
Yeah.
one of the things that you've got to do is you have got to prioritize your health. Um, I've been in the process of, I'm working with an exercise physiologist. Exercise physiologist is a step above a personal trainer. And I called today to set up my sessions, right?
Mm.
And, I have to drive there, I have to do the sessions, I have to drive back. And I had a conflict on one day. And I thought to myself, oh, maybe I just won't do it. But I said, you know what? I need to take my health seriously, as seriously as any other appointment. A health appointment, a mental health appointment, physical therapy, physical conditioning appointment. It's like at some point we have to value our lives enough to set up boundaries on our time. They have these things called telehealth appointments now where you don't even have to leave your house. So you work a lot, you have 3 kids, you're doing it on your own. Mama has got to put on her oxygen mask. You have got to put your mask on yourself first, because you know what happens is on the plane they had to make these announcements, because on the plane mothers were scrambling to make sure that their children had their mask on. They weren't even thinking about themselves, and then before they could even help their children, they would black out. So it's like you have got to put on your mask because your children need you. I have a
Yeah,
friend
it makes
right
sense.
now who is in a having a terrible, terrible go at it with her children. And this death of one of my the death that I'm the loss that we're dealing with behind the scenes now has reminded me that you've got to take care of yourself, because what happens to your children if you're not here? Who takes care of them then? Who is
Yeah,
going to
that's
look out
a
for
really
them?
scary thought, actually. That's like the
Exactly.
scariest thought.
Exactly. And so you are interested in healing. You are interested in demonstrating what healing looks like. And so you've got to take those steps. You have to follow through, you know?
Yeah, I do understand. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry to hijack your whole podcast with my problems. And
Yeah, so you
I
see, so
thank you for
let's
listening.
let's hold on. Hold on. You see, that's part of the self-worth right there. You know, feeling as if you've hijacked, that you're taking up too much space, that you're taking time away from other people. This is this is time that is benefiting other people. These are lessons that other people have benefited from. These are lessons that you have benefited from. And so your life matters. That's the very first page in my self help book. Hold on, let me grab the book real quick. 1 second. Okay. So this is my book right here. This is the book of affirmation self love. It's available on Amazon right now. And the very first page of the book, these are the affirmations that I said when I was living in my car, because I was at the lowest point in my life and I really did not know how I would get onto the other side of that. You know, my business was closed. I didn't have a way of bringing money in. I was living in my car. I was afraid to tell my family because I just closed my business and everybody thought closing my business was a bad idea. And then I
Mhm.
ended up living in my car and I felt like I failed. I was at the lowest point in my life and I did not know how I would get onto the other side. You know how you hear people say, you know, you'll make it to the other side. This doesn't last always. This is only temporary. I was in the
Mm.
thick of it and I was in the thick and I kept going down so far that I didn't know how I would crawl out of that well. I didn't know how I would get out of it. And stuff just kept getting worse and worse. It was like I was trying to crawl out the well, but the rocks were slippery. I kept falling back down and I kept
Yeah.
falling lower than I was. And so I started saying these affirmations. And when I first started saying them, I didn't believe them. It felt foreign. And there were parts of me, like every single one of these affirmations that are in the book, these were things that I had to tell myself in order to be able to rise up out of a terrible, terrible situation. I talked about the friend that owed me money in the last broadcast and how I ended up living in my car because he was supposed to pay me this money and he decided that he wasn't. And then during the pandemic, he called, or his number called mine. And people were like, oh, you should
Mm.
take him to small claims court. You should this, you should that. However, I we are squared up. Absence speak volumes. The biggest punishment that I could give to him is to take myself out of his life. He has no access to me, no small claims court being able to see me across from the judge, no phone calls, no Tonya, nowhere in his purview.
Right.
Nothing. Right?
Yeah.
And and so the very first affirmation here is my life matters. My presence on earth matters. So for me, I wrote this book. This book helps other people. As a self love specialist, there are certain things that I have never experienced. Like, I've never been in an abusive relationship, I've never been harmed or hit by a man. Those are the things that I never struggled with those things, but I have had money issues. I have had my self worth tied to the amount of power, the amount of money I've had, how I can take care of myself. I had pride in being able to afford organic foods and being able to go where I want and do what I wanted. But when those things were taken away, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what my worth was without money, without the ability to care for myself. I didn't know where my importance lay. I didn't know I didn't know what my worth was if I couldn't take care of myself. So those are the things that I struggled with. And so he and I are even. He owes me nothing. Going living in my car tested my self-love. And right now you are in the middle of a test. How do you get onto the other side of this? How do you handle when rubber meets the road? Right now, you are being called upon to let your actions speak volumes. What is it that you are going to do to love yourself? How do you honor yourself? That is a question right now for you.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess I can start with therapy, but I didn't. I don't know. No, I just feel like I never really mattered that much. Like if I was
Exactly.
missing, nobody would. I mean, I don't want to say that because of course my kids would miss me, you know, and
Hmm.
I'm sure I matter to somebody, but I don't know. I think I
And you
don't know.
know,
It's like a. It's this is a whole thing you about to open up. It's it probably. I don't know. I don't want to take over, but that's a whole thing.
yeah, but you
But
know what?
even
So this is the
well,
thing, right?
yeah.
You have got to care about you. It's easy to feel like you don't matter. That's why this is the first affirmation in my book, because when I was living in my car, as many people as I help online, the thumbprint, the imprint that I have online, I questioned whether or not I mattered. I questioned whether or not, if I got sucked into the abyss, if I never made it out of that displacement, if I ended up never just disappearing, what effect would that have on people's lives? And because, you know, I was child free at the time, I was single at the time. And so I was like, well, if I went, who would care? I just felt like you remember that movie with Sandra Bullock when they hit that thing in space and it just kept moving forever? I just felt like
Oh
an
yeah, yeah.
unattached barnacle in space just moving.
So what was really like the first? Was it was just self affirmation was the first step? Like just telling yourself, even though you didn't really find it to believe yet, you just spoke it.
Yeah, well, you know what? My
Is
book is
that?
available on Amazon. It's $20. Do you have enough money
Yeah,
to
I want to go
afford the
ahead and check
book?
that out.
Can you afford it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then it's right there on Amazon. Get the book, do the affirmations, and you can start here. You can start with the book, you can start with the affirmations. However, graduating into caring for yourself enough to get a therapist on the job with you is, it to me, I feel, is important. The affirmations helped me tremendously, but at the time that I was living in my car, I was going through my life coaching course, and I had a life coach who worked with me to be able to assist me and just keeping me up, keeping me on my toes, keeping me focused. And so I didn't have insurance at the time for a therapist. I like getting insurance and paying the amount of money that I pay for insurance right now is part of loving myself, so that whatever is going on the inside, I'm able to address. So my dear, what is your name again, so that everybody in the comments can send some love and hugs out to you?
And my name is Anna.
Anna? Okay, so listen,
Yeah.
everybody, send some love and hugs and some power to Anna. Anna needs to be lifted up right now. And take the time, get the book, do the affirmations. However, I strongly suggest seeing a therapist.
Okay. Okay. I can do that.
Yeah,
Hey, so
absolutely.
so just to backtrack a little bit, so about with my kids and their father, and I know you said communication.
Yeah, from my limited perspective, because I don't have all of the information about what's going on in the situation, right?
Yeah.
Um, I say communicate with, I think communicating to them that certain things, asking them questions, asking them how they feel about some of the things that they see, and rationalizing with them. You can pontificate and philosophize with a child and help them be able to develop their critical mind. You can help them question what it is that they see about what is normal, what is real, what is healthy, what does a healthy relationship look like? They are going to need to see examples of healthy relationships. So if you are on your own and you're just floating out there, free floating, and it's just you and this man who is abusive, and you're there, in the state that you're in emotionally and not really being supported, etc. This is why I say you need a therapist by your side, because the therapist can be able to guide you in exactly how to navigate that situation, whether or not there needs to be limited contact. I can't say from here. I don't
Right,
know
I
all that's
understand.
going on,
Absolutely.
but I do suggest you meet with a therapist.
Okay. Thank you so much, Tanya. I love you.
We love you too, Anna. Big hugs to you. Thank you for calling in. Your life
Hey, thanks.
matters. Your presence on earth matters. Let me hear you say it.
Hi, matter. My life matters.
Your presence on earth matters. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
M- My presence on earth matters. Let me hear you say that.
My presence on earth matters.
Absolutely. You doggone right, it does. All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in.
Bye bye.
All right. All right. So you know what? I think that's going to be our last phone call. Unless there was somebody that just desperately needs to call in and be the very last phone call. Other than that, look, if you are in desperate need of calling in, it must be desperate need. I need you to put up a zero. Put up a zero. And then I may take just one more phone call and just let the universe decide who gets through. So on that note, I want you all. NY is saying therapists can be hard to get these days. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. We have to start making these phone calls now, because by the time you're in desperate need of a therapist, it could be too late, because therapists are overwhelmed with calls and clients and all of that. So absolutely, this is the time to start making the phone calls now, so that when you need so that you have the support. You know what I mean? All right. So Ms. Dara is saying you wanted to call, but you ain't desperate. That is the caveat, the qualifier. You must be in desperate need of calling in. That's the qualifier. So that's what we're going with right now. And my captions are messing up. So we've been broadcasting for a few hours when the captions start messing up. So I don't see any zeros. Let me put the things up on the screen. Let's see. Let me see where we're at in terms of people and the need to call in. Okay. All right. So we're good then. We're good. We're good. All right. Going once, going twice, going once, going twice. All right. So let's get this music up and let us do these self-love lessons. All right. Come on. Let's get these self-love lessons on the screen. Go ahead and type SLL. Oh, Miss Dara had an appointment. Yay! We are happy and proud of you, my dear. We are happy and proud. Perfect. All right. So let's type these SLL. Let's see the self-love lesson. And I'll start thinking of my self-love lesson. Now the zeros are going to come in. Now the zeros. All right, I'll open back up the phone line. And we'll grab one of those people. So just get ready to call in. Right? So I want to see those self-love lessons. Then we'll check the apples. We'll open the phone lines. All right. And so somebody's saying, please use the videos from KG's. Listen, I don't know what it is that you're talking about, but you're over here promoting somebody else's channel. You have lost the ability to have your comments read on screen. All right, so let's come on, SLL. You matter. Your experience is valid. Yes. 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 Okay. SLL, love yourself. Yes. Surround yourself and child with positive male, female role models. Be the change you want to see. Yes, absolutely. 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 Perfect. SLL, my life matters. Absolutely. Absolutely. Come on. A, A, A. Come on. SLL, you decide how you feel and the experiences you have. Treat yourself like you are the love of your life. Ooh, that sounds good. I like that. I like that. Invest in getting a counselor or therapist. Take care of yourself before you can take care of something else. Okay, I feel that. I feel that. Come on, self-love lessons. Come on, bring them through. Come on, we got 30 more seconds on this song. Come on. A, A, A. I'm looking for those self-love lessons. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to jump back to the phone lines real quick as this winds down. All right. Let us grab this apple real quick, right? So Kaylee sends $5 and says, I deserve rest and relaxation. Favorite affirmation. Yes, you know, far too many of us, especially Black people, we feel guilty about getting rest. One of the affirmations in the book, I'm telling you, each of these affirmations in one way or another. Look at this. This is the I deserve rest and relaxation one. It's a cute little teddy bear. And then there's a space on the other side for you to write out the answers to the questions that I'm asking in here for you to participate in. So that all of these are my favorite affirmations. That's how they all made it into the book. It's a petite book, so it's not too large. You can carry it with you wherever you go. You can leave it by the nightstand. You can use it first thing in the morning or right before you go to bed, and it changes everything. I notice when I do it before I go to bed, it just shifts my whole being by the time I wake up. So thank you so much for participating in that. All right, so let us get the phone lines back open. I pressed the wrong button. Hey. Mm, mm. I appreciate all of you. I'm sending your emojis through now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's get the phone lines open. Here we go. All right. Phone lines are open 323-488-3149. So talk to me. This is only for the people who said that they desperately needed to call in. I'm going to take one of those phone calls. So call in now. The phone lines are open. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Ooh, I knew I was gonna make it. Brandy Crenshaw. This is my third time talking to you.
Hey, welcome
I
in.
have to tell
Welcome.
you, I love you,
Oh,
Tonya. I
thank
love
you.
you. I have
Thank
to tell
you.
you something. You helped me today with this
Oh,
very same matter with men. Okay, because I grew up without my father in the home.
uh-huh.
And I want to say, let me back up. First of all, gratitude to you for all that you do for the
Oh,
collective.
thank you. Thank you.
Okay, you are a goddess, and I
Oh, thank you.
honor you.
Thank
So,
you.
okay, I'm sorry if I'm talking over you. It must be a delay,
No, no, no,
but
no.
I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm.
Let me breathe. Oh God, I knew I was gonna make it on here. Let me get right to it. My
Okay.
today experience, while I picked up, I'm a part of the text notification squad,
Mm.
yay, and I got the
Yay.
text, and I
Wonderful.
went right on there. And when you started talking, I thought about my father and the fact that he didn't have his mother and father growing up. His
Mm,
father was an alcoholic, and his
mm,
mother was an alcoholic. She
mm.
had 12 kids by the age of 28. And my grandfather ended up getting killed in a bar fight. They were both alcoholics. I'm sharing this because that added on to my dad's experience.
Okay.
He had substance abuse issues. My mother, same situation, except for her dad was the one who was an alcoholic. So when
Mm,
she coupled with my father, these are things she would say to me growing up, me and my older brother, is that my daddy was ugly and that he was, basically talking about him as if we weren't part him. And it was
Mm.
also something I could tell she was processing her own father issues. As I
Mm.
mentioned, her dad was an alcoholic and used to beat her mother, my
Oh
grandmother.
wow. Yeah.
So bringing it back to the title, to the topic that I thank
Mhm.
you for, it is
Mhm.
something that I saw my mom do, which was act so masculine. And it was due to her upbringing and experience with having to fight her dad
Mm.
off of her mother, had to fight her dad off of her mother. And this is of 6 kids. Her and her younger brother were the only ones that would actually help their mother. But the point is, she took that into her relationship with my father. She ended up having a fight with my father. So my father allowed my mother, and my mother allowed my father to kind of work off of each other to prevent themselves from being the best parent that they could be to me and my brother. This is something I've
Mm.
now dealt with. I've been in therapy.
Mhm.
I'm doing the inner work now. I'm
Mm.
doing my inner
Mhm.
work, which I've done the therapy for 4 years. I did therapy, but the thing I'm bringing this up about, and I'm moving very quickly because I know you're getting ready to get off here, is
Mhm.
that what you're doing is adding to the positive. When you were mentioning and you were giving that young lady before you took that break and getting ready to get out of here, you had given her a mantra. Can you say that mantra, please? Because I really didn't hear it. I had to fast forward. Can you
My
please
life
say it once?
matters.
Yes, the whole thing, the way you said it with her, because
Oh.
I would like to repeat it.
Okay. My life matters. My presence on earth matters.
My life matters. My presence on earth matters. Now, I'm going to wrap it up with this. I had a guy who I recently met, and in the
Mhm.
relationship, I realized there was toxicity that he and I both were adding to the relationship, and it was
Mhm.
indicative of my mother and my father. Me
Mhm.
being overbearing and overcritical, and him being like kind of wimpy and just letting it happen, because that's how my dad would respond to my mom. So what I noticed with my brother, because he's now married and has four kids, but the
Mhm.
point that I'm making is he actually mimics both of my parents, and I
Mm.
have been so critical of myself that I have
Mhm.
been doing the same thing. I've been married and divorced twice. I did the
Mm.
same thing, had marriages that had toxicity where we were arguing and even had altercations, physical altercations. It is a
Mm.
part of my life that I now accept as if it was all good. And I know
Mm.
that sounds really fluffy for some, but it made me who I am. And I don't regret having had the mother and the father experiences that I've had and still have. My father,
Mm.
now that I'm 44, he doesn't even have the ability to have a conversation with me. I've reached out. I've gotten through all of the, why doesn't he want me? And my brother, he just ignores it. And the way
Mm.
he's combated it, my brother did not have a male figure in for the first 12 years of our life. He and
Mm.
he was the father of the home. Like my big brother was like my father figure, and I know
Mm.
that's toxic in and of itself. However, that was what my mom was used to. She was used
Mm.
to her little brother having to man up to his daddy and beat his
Mm.
daddy down to get him away from his mom in a drunken
Mm.
pit. So I'm
Yeah.
telling you, what you're doing is rewiring people with these conversations. So again, I honor you and I thank you. I know I said a lot, but I appreciate you for realsies. It's been years I've been watching you, and I thank you for your love and your life. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate your commentary. Thank you. And so we see how growing up in a situation that where certain behaviors are normalized, like children, they don't have a critical filter. So they're not judging
Mhm.
something as good or bad. It just is the way it is. That's just normal. And so
Yep.
we hear the arguments, the screaming, the disrespect, the fighting, and it's just normal. There's no judgment on it. And so when we go out there into the world, like it's no accident that your father with an alcoholic mother and your mother with an alcoholic father, that they both found one
Mhm.
another because there were certain behaviors. Like I was contacted by a young lady who was very upset with me because of the video that I did about Mr. and Mrs. LaTruth. And she was upset
Mm.
because I was calling Mr. LaTruth an abuser. I mean, I don't know how much more we needed to show and play. The man was calling her all types of bitches and said he was going to drag her by her wig or snatch the wig off her head and drag her out the car and leave her on the side of the road. right? I mean, I don't know how
Mhm.
much more we needed to hear. And I realized when I was talking, because I wrote back to her because I was confused as to why she was writing me, because she wrote me to tell me she unsubscribed and all this other stuff. And then she started attempting to verbally abuse me. She's over here telling me that Mrs. The Truth was the abuser and she's a liar and all this other stuff. And then she, the woman who was writing to me, attempted to begin to verbally abuse me. And she was like, if my gut is right about you, you'll be exposed soon and the truth will come to the light and all this, that, and the other. And
Mm.
listen, I speak about this publicly because I tell you all, don't take anything that any blogger says as true. Take it with a grain of salt and just
Mhm.
take your own life lessons from it. And I was like, look, I told her, I was like, if there's anything that needs to be exposed about me, let it come to light. Because
Mhm.
people deserve to be, that's where the healing is. Once, because
Yes.
you know what, how much pain there is in living a lie. It's like, so the
Mm.
healing
It's
comes
heavy.
in, exactly, in addressing. So these people who get exposed, this is an opportunity for them to find healing. So if there is
Did you see
anything
how
that
they
I
got
am,
that together, though, Tonya? I'm sorry I had to interrupt you. Did you notice that that was also a toxic trait of them just getting right back together and
so
acting?
so the reason why I brought that
I
whole
know about that.
exchange up, the reason why I brought that whole exchange up is because there are people, like, our programming, like, if you're aware of the program, like, if you're aware of the
Mhm.
program, then you can do something about the program. But for the most part, we
Yep.
are our program operates underneath, just like when your system is defragging and it's happening underneath all of the processes that are happening in front of your computer. So
Yep.
there are things that
Subconscious.
each one of us, there are things that each one of us saw as normal, right? I mean, you all see me
Yep.
here, and you see that I'll be talking to a person, and once they irritate me, I'll just bust out some curse words at them. You can tell my program.
I
Listen.
love that shit.
You can
I love it.
tell. You can tell that this is obviously some way that I've been programmed, or how something that is a part of my rearing, right? That
Mhm.
I bust out some words at a person to get them away from me, to dissuade some. My programming is not, oh, let me see how I can appease. That's not my programming. You
Nope.
will see some of it's not always functional. It has a function. It's there for a reason, but it's not always. There's some things I can do differently.
It's most
Right?
often very funny and very enlightening at the same time. Mhm.
Right. But
Yes,
what I
you are.
but what
And
I'm
I
saying.
have to say this: you have a gift. You have a gift of telling somebody off, and they feel that shit. I just have to say it like that. They feel it because you're coming from a heart-centered place, not from just your head. But I'm a hush. Go ahead, please.
You're so funny. So part of the reason that I bring up all of this is because we each have different programming, things that we see as normal. I wasn't
Mhm.
raised in a household with alcoholism and stuff like that. So that isn't a part of my programming. And
Mhm.
whoever it is that we are, every single one of us, this is why I do these videos. We have to look at what we identify with, where the healing lay in
Mhm.
some, or lie in some of these videos. What can you look at in yourself and be like, you know what? Let me become aware. Let me see if there's something that's programmed inside of me that I can do differently. And so that's why I do
Can I speak
these
to that?
videos. Sure.
I'm so sorry. I'm so eager. I apologize for being rude, but I have to,
No.
right there. The relationship that I spoke about that I ended was
Mm-hmm.
something that I had left and blocked the person. And that is indicative of my father just ostracizing me, coming in and out, and then vanishing. I was doing that by blocking this guy, not dealing with it with words, not dealing with
Mm,
it using a constructive mechanism, not just
mm,
I'm blocking him, I'm moving on because it was a toxic thing that I was attracting. It wasn't
mm,
something that I'm just a victim of. No, I called that energy to me. And I said this
mm,
time, because I was listening to the show, that's why I wanted to make sure I highlight that. I
mm,
said, this is the difference, Brandy. You have an opportunity. Don't
mm,
just run and block them. No, go speak over the phone and let him know that you thank him for showing me because that's
Mm.
what it did. He, in his toxic ways, showed me my toxicity that I now can focus more heavily on and get those things uprooted. Because that's what life is about. Not shaming
Mm.
myself, but just acknowledging it and making a change. That's what you're helping me with. And I wanted to thank you.
Mm.
So keep
Well,
going,
thank you
love. I
so much for
thank you so
calling
much.
in. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
This
Thank
is
you.
my third time because I said I wanted to talk to you. That's why I got through. I wanted to tell anybody out there, how did she get up there 3 times? Like you said, the young lady, she always calls in. You know you can do it, then you're going to get in. So that's how you get
Yeah.
in. Love you, Tonya.
Hey,
Love you, everyone. Peace.
before you go, right? I
Yes.
think that that speaks to the energy that you were talking about, how we attract certain energies to us. Our
Mm-hmm.
vibration, there could be 100 people trying to get in, but our vibration and the intention that we set, lets the universe be in alignment with what it is that we're calling forward. And this is how some people are able to get in so many times and other people maybe not the right time. So thank you so much,
Yeah.
Brandy, for calling in. Thank you.
I sincerely love you and thank you for what you do.
We
Peace.
love you
Peace
too.
to you
Thank
to
you.
infinity. Love you all, everybody.
All
Bye.
right. Bye. All right. There was one more person that put up a zero. I'll take that one last call for the person who said that they were desperate to get through. I'll take that last phone call and then we will go from there. Okay. So last phone call. The phone lines are open. So there was two people that put up a zero. It's too far up in the comments for me to see now at this point, but the person knows who they are. If they're still here, go ahead and dial in now. The phone number is 323-488-3149. And then I'm going to think about the self-love lesson that I learned from today's video. So from today's video that we were talking about in terms of self-love, what is the self-love lesson that I learned from today's video? So, hmm, 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 hmm. Hmm, 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 hmm. Hmm, 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 hmm. I guess, I didn't. Oh, Saved by the Bell. Here we go. I'll still have time to think about my self love lesson. All right. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where you calling from?
Sarah Foster from St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi. Are you one of the people who put the zero up that you were desperate to call in?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't remember the person's name being Sarah, but we'll take you at your
Oh,
word.
it's like it's an account I use, but it's not my main account.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you're on the air live. So you're the last call of the evening. So, Sarah, talk to us.
I'm so nervous.
Oh, no need to be nervous. Just breathe deep and
I
just
love you,
relax.
Tanya.
We
Okay.
love you too, Mom.
So, yeah, so this weekend I'm going to visit my mom. She's in her 70s
Mm,
and she has like late stage dementia. So
mm,
she's not very coherent,
mm,
but I haven't seen her since February. And
mm,
the main reason I haven't seen her is because I have a very tumultuous relationship with my sister, and she's power of attorney over my mother.
mm,
Um, she used to bully me when I was younger.
mm,
Um, the police have been called. Like, it's to the point now where if she verbally attacks me, I'm going to physically attack her. Like, I've had so
oh,
much
wow.
trauma from my relationship with her, and I don't want a record. So
Mm,
I need to know what to do because I miss my mom, I miss my family, but a lot of them have just really like I, I don't know, like shitted on me, like have done like really messed up things to me, and I've always wanted to be there for my family and help my family and support my family, but some of them are very evil. Like I don't know how else to put it.
mm. Well, do you have anybody that calms you so that is there a way that first of all that you can go visit her without your sister being there?
Yeah, I've tried to like arrange that in the past. Um, one of my sisters stays here with me in St. Louis, so she's kind of been like the mediator, like the
Okay.
person that is still contacted with the family and she sets up everything, but um she's not reliable.
Mm-hmm.
Um and that's another reason why I haven't seen my mom is because she we drive there.
Yeah.
We drive to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Um and she's had, financial issues and stuff like that, but I don't talk to my family. Like I don't talk directly with my
Yeah.
family
Yeah.
because of what they've done. Like I don't
Yeah.
know if
I can
I'm being
understand
overly
that.
emotional about it or
No, I
what.
mean, listen, everybody has a right to cut off people that you have to protect your peace. That's part of self-love. And so my
Yeah.
question to you is there a way for you to visit your mother when your other sister, the volatile relationship sister, is not going to be around? Because life is too short,
Yeah.
and February, March, April,
Yeah.
May, June, July, August, September, October, November, that's 9 months you haven't seen your mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like
I miss
dementia
I
kills,
miss my mom. I do. I do, but
and
it's like
dementia
she's
kills.
done so much shit. She's done so much stuff to me and it's just like I'm tired of it. I'm tired. Like I'm going to explode if she says one more thing to me. Like
Do you have a therapist?
I don't. I need one.
Yeah, because there's some underlying things that are going on that you're being triggered because anger is a
Yeah.
necessary emotion for when your boundaries are being crossed, and perhaps you don't have healthy, constructive ways to be able to release the anger, to deal with the anger, to process the anger. And I would suggest getting a therapist in on the job to assist you. We don't have to have a major reason to seek therapy. We don't have to have a life altering crisis or anything like that. We don't. I went to therapy in 2017, 2018. I went to therapy because every time I heard Trump's voice on the damn TV, I would feel enraged. I would feel sick to my. I'm serious. I had Trump trauma, and every time I would just feel sick. I would feel it in the pit of my stomach. I would get enraged. I felt disgusted. I was living out there on the countryside of California around all these white people, and it wasn't
Yeah,
healthy
yeah,
for me to
yeah.
feel these feelings. So if you are feeling feelings that you need to work through, get a therapist in on the job. I would say that's
Yeah.
place number one, right? And so your
Mhm.
therapist will be able to hear everything that it is that you need to say, because there might be some things that you need to get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
might there might need to be, I'm not gonna say nothing. Let me just I was gonna say there might be a closed door that you need to, do behind the closed doors, no witnesses, but I'm not advising any of that. I'm advising you to get a therapist and to work through some of your triggers, because if you have enough going
Yeah.
on inside of you that you feel like you're going to explode, that means that these emotions have not been processed.
Like she's the only person I've ever felt this strongly like
Listen,
towards. Like
excuse me. What
yeah.
did Tanya say that you need to do?
Tonya be my therapist.
I'm not qualified to be a therapist, and even if I was, my I am I am best suited to help the masses.
Yeah.
So listen, Sarah,
Mhm.
get a therapist to work with you. Trump is one person. I don't even know Trump. And I went to
Yeah.
therapy to deal with, and you know what? And what I found out when I was in therapy, after we discussed the Trump trauma and how I felt disgusted by my country people who voted this buffoon into office, one of the things that I
Mhm.
discovered is that there were some other things that were compounding. It's
Yeah.
kind of like when you're constipated. You have all of this stuff that's backed up, so that now you have this pain in your ass, but it's really started in the intestines. I discovered that there were other things that were compounding that made my fuse shorter. This was also around the time that I was
Yeah.
just getting out of my displacement. So even though
Yeah.
I said I went to therapy because Trump's voice was annoying me, there was also a lot of pain and stuff that was associated with coming out of the displacement and getting onto the other side of that, and all of
Yeah.
that stuff, being betrayed by the government and all this other stuff. There were a lot
Yeah.
of other things. So it's like you can't even get to the tip of the iceberg because there's all of this
Mhm.
other impacted stuff going on beneath it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
true.
So go to therapy. You may go there just to start talking about your sister, but you may discover that there's some other things that may be underlying.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
I
We love
appreciate you.
you.
Thank you
Thank
so much.
you. Thank you so much for calling in. Thank you. And you have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
All right. All right. So I appreciate all of you. I know that was a gross analogy. I know. But it is what it is. But you all understood that analogy, though. You all understood because I think we have all been there. Not me, because I'm a lady. I don't do those things. Right. All right. So come on. Let's go ahead and get out of here. I will see you all in the next video. Oh, I was going to say the self-love lesson that I learned from today's video. What would the self-love lesson be? What is the self-love lesson I learned from today's video? You know what? I would say one of the self-love lessons that I learned from today's video is truly the importance of honoring the things that you're going through, honoring the things that are troubling you, because there could be some bigger things underneath the surface that you could be working through. Not only that, being okay with realizing that other people's stuff could be their stuff. Like the people who were coming out talking about, oh, I'm a single mother, this, that, and the other. Hearing things that I didn't even say, but having the humility to realize that this person who is lashing out because they interpreted something, but that's really based on them, and being okay with other people having their own experience and not taking it on too much. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness. Listen. Brandy, you're apologizing for interrupting. What's going on? There's no need to apologize for calling in. We took calls because we wanted to, and every call benefited somebody. All of the calls are important. All right, so that's pretty much the self-love lesson that I learned in today's video, to really just kind of honor yourself and to realize that it's okay if you don't have all of the answers. Like, you may not have all of the answers for what it is that your children need or are going to need, but taking the time to invest in getting them as close to being, their greatest selves as possible. One of the self-love lessons I learned from today is prioritizing my health above everything. You know how in business they talk about, oh, pay yourself first? Take your health, make it a priority. When I was scheduling my physical personal training with the doc, my physical therapy appointments, I'm just going to call it physical therapy, exercise physiology. When I was scheduling my appointments, I scheduled those appointments with the vigor of importance of any other health appointment. Far too often we don't take our health into utmost consideration. All right, I think we have all of the apples. All right, so I will see you all in the next video. Tonya TKO, and I am out. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you all so much for coming out. Oh, all right. I will see you all. Let me see if I can bust a little wine for you all real quick. Let me see if I can bust a little. Let me see if I can. Hey, 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 hey. I'll see you all.